नारायणशलाकया अन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। कृष्णपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। So these questions have come mainly from all of you from the VYC right now. Let me answer one by one. Okay. In the last class, we discussed avastava vastu, temporary things granted to the jiva, which often becomes the cause of suffering. We shared a fascinating example explaining how every part of the body has its own doctor, teeth require dentist, skin needs a dermatologist, etc. This made me deeply realize how this body is inherently full of suffering. You also mentioned that the sadhaka develops a higher taste which helps them overcome the temptations of this world. For instance, eating in moderation and avoiding sweets or fried items daily. This practice helps us develop equanimity in our consciousness. However, when we see someone close to us suffering, it can disturb our mind deeply. If that, now I'm going to make another connection which will be much more stable. I'll give you just a minute. Which one? Just 1 minute. You can keep it here. This will be much better. Yeah, now it will be very good now. However, when we see someone close to us suffering, it can disturb our mind deeply, very true. If that person happens to be our own sister facing family issues, the intensity of emotional disturbance increases. How should we approach such situations where close relatives are suffering and how do we maintain equanimity? Should we distance ourselves from situations? This week you also spoke about anchoring our consciousness while Krishna Bhagavad Gita 2.14 to talk. I don't know why it went off. Okay. This week you also spoke about anchoring our consciousness to Krishna to protect ourselves from the winds of sattva, rajas, tamas. And while Krishna advises in Bhagavad Gita 2.14 and not disturbing, but in those very close to us, what exactly should we do in such situations? Brilliant question, very good question. Now, what we need to do in such situations, we can't be inhuman or we can't be hard-hearted, saying that, I am aloof from it, I am not, troubled by all this and things like that. That would be considered insane by the people around us. They will say, what kind of human being you are? Are you a stone or are you a human being? Huh? So, naturally, we are sentient human beings. We feel pain to see our sister or brother, somebody suffering. It's natural to feel. Even when Arjuna, even after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, when he lost his son in the battle, Abhimanyu, he was a 16-year-old lad. Arjuna burst into tears. So one man asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, is it not ridiculous? After hearing the whole Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is weeping like this. So Prabhupada said, why are you asking a ridiculous question? Like the Prabhupada asked that man. The man was shocked. Why do you call my question as ridiculous? He asked. Then Prabhupada said, you see, although Arjuna uh, lamented bitterly for a moment, Krishna came and touched his shoulder and said, Arjun, this is no time for your grievances because the Kaurava army is rooting out Pandava army in big numbers. If you don't go to the battle immediately, your army is likely to be defeated by the Kauravas. I agree that you have lost your son, it's painful, but stick to the duty now. Immediately Arjuna took his bow and arrow and with a renewed vigor, he fought the battle. So Prabhupada said, this is the meaning of a devotee. A devotee, like we say, uh, tolerate reversals externally, remain cheerful internally, stay fixed in your duty. I'll put these three things in there.
I, I already.
These are the three things. Tolerate reversals externally, remain uh, cheerful internally, stay fixed in your duty, both spiritual and material. So, so when Prabhupada told this man that Arjuna was sticking to his duty, he didn't give up his duty because his son passed away. He didn't go into depression for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. By the time war would be over. But Arjuna rose up to the occasion and he fought the battle and ultimately emerged victorious. Therefore, Arjuna should not be criticized, Arjuna should be glorified. And then Prabhupada asked, who is the man in this world? Who loses his mother, father, brother, sister, somebody in this world, and who will not cry? Because we do have some amount of affection to our kith and kin. Uh, Therefore, it is said, blood is thicker than water, it is said. We have that attachment. And we are trying to purify that attachment by making them Krishna conscious. So what all we can do for them? Say, for example, somebody's sister is suffering, some particular ailment, some sister is suffering. So what all you can do? Like myself now, I am a monk now. Still I keep in touch with my mother, father, sisters' families. Sometimes when they get some sickness, they share with me that we are undergoing this currently. And then I suggest some good doctor whom I know. I suggest some name of some good doctor and I give them the contact number. Like one such doctor I connected, my sister found very helpful. She said, oh, he's a very intelligent doctor. He understands the problem well. So that is one thing you can do, which is within your reach. Another thing you can do for them uh, is also connect them to some devotee who is in their vicinity, who can time to time go to them, hear, listen them out and give them solace and encouragement, just as you would give encouragement to your sister. And if you are far away from them, somebody else living close to your sister's home, who's also devotee, Mataji, she can go to your sister and then give a pat and encouragement like an elder sister. That also I did that also. I connected. So after my sister got one one senior lady, she treated her like an elder sister, spiritual sister, and she felt ecstatic, very happy. Time to time she comes and she talks to me. I feel I am not alone now. I have somebody to share my heart. So she felt very happy with that. And also, you can share some Krishna conscious videos which talk about how to remain undisturbed in turbulence. When turbulence comes in our life, or how to remain undisturbed in adversities which come in our life. Because these videos, lectures, they may give some pointers on how one can remain. So then they get some clue also. Many people in this world have turned to spiritual life and taken spiritual life very seriously. After hearing some good sermons during the troubled times. Like Arjuna was in a troubled time, he heard Bhagavad Gita and then he became a pure devotee, great devotee. Our Chitraketu, he lost his small boy, his son. Hmm. And then at the time he got a lecture from Narada and Angira and he became a great devotee. You see, many people have heard Katha in troubled times and they became great devotees. You can do that favor to your sister like that. So you are arranging for her to get some Krishna Katha. You are teaching her how to chant Hare Krishna and pray to the Lord for help. You also can chant extra 1 or 2 rounds daily to pray for her. That I am praying for you so that you get well soon. Very quickly you get well. You can also pray. So you are praying, you are teaching her how to chant, you are connecting her to a senior lady who is going and giving touch with her, regularly keeping in touch and encouraging her, and you are connecting her to some good doctor, isn't it? So many things you are many type of support you are trying to offer. These are things which are within your reach. You can do. What you should not do is go into a mode of depression. I am unable to do anything. Even if you are right next to your sister sitting, how can you help her? How can you help? You have to suffer your karma bandhan, your karmic reactions. She has to suffer her karmic reactions. All of us have our karmic reactions, plus and minus, which we all have to only reap. As you sow social, you reap, we say no. And it is coming, we are witnessing, we are watching, and we can't totally set it right. This world will always have some situations which are going smoothly and some situations which are not going so smoothly. Both type of situations will be there. And we have to learn to live with it. Like for example, say I have to sometimes repair my spectacles. So there is one shop which is a devotee shop. I may go there to repair it or purchase a new spectacles or something. But if I have to go to that shop, on either side there are meat shops are there, wine shops are there. So many shops breaking the regulatory principles. On either side you find. So I go straight to that shop and do my business and I go back straight. And I don't even look at the shops at all because I have nothing to give and take with them. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna says, focus on your duty and don't get, sidetracked by other disturbing elements, he says. Because you have to check whether you are doing as much help as you can for your sister. Sometimes you may give some money also for the operation or some surgery or something. If there is a need for money, monetarily you can help. You can supply a good doctor to help her. You can supply a good spiritual mentor, Mataji, to guide her. You can give some good lectures for her to hear. So you can give some very calming kirtans, Hare Krishna kirtans you can send. These are all things within your reach you can do. And you can pray for her and you can teach her to chant also. Beyond this, what can any human being do? Tell me. Therefore, we have to, that is about helping her. But after helping her, then you have to tolerate whatever happens. Like sometimes somebody comes out of the problem and she becomes very happy and she's very grateful to you. And then she goes on for many long years and you are happy, she's happy. But another possibility is in certain cases, people have first stage cancer, second stage cancer and all. Like my father had this prostate cancer. Doctors said that this can go for 2 years or it can go for 20 years also. Because it grows very slowly, it doesn't grow very fast. Before that, some other disease will come. Your father is already 84, he's pretty old. So any other complication may come. And it may not be due to this cancer, he will die. But it's unpredictable. It may be 2 years or more than that. So in 2.5 years, he left the body after that. So now they had taken all those, biopsy. Biopsy and everything they showed. We can take all those tests and everything, but ultimately a person has to live. When my sisters cried, I asked them, say, how long you want him to live? 90? They said, 90 is also not enough. How long? 100? Yeah, 100. 100 is also not enough. They said, how long? Oh, we don't want him to live at all as long as we are there. They were saying. Then I told them, you see, you are talking of unrealistic things. In this world, everybody has to live one day. My mother was 80, father was 84. Mother first left, and after 3 months, my father also left. They were 80 and 84. So, in this way, this is the law of the material world. One by one, everybody has to live. And when a person is diseased, we pray that they don't have to leave now. Somebody is young now. Let them live long. We can wish that they live long. We can offer this support. And then finally, we leave it to the Lord. Therefore, it is said, remain cheerful internally. Because sister or brother, they are not the body, they are the spirit soul. Anything happens to body, they are aloof from it. They may feel the pain and other things due to being in the body now, but eternally they have identity. Like you have eternal identity, they have eternal identity. Uh, and my father left, I told my sisters, he has left this bodily machine now, which is now filthy now. It has so many diseases and complications. He's not comfortable here. Now Krishna will give him a beautiful, either spiritual body or another good mental body in another place where he can continue his devotional service. Huh? So then they became very calm after that. So that's the reality. I would suggest you that you read Chitraketu section thoroughly in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Also Bharat Maharaj section, these two sections. That will be very healing to the heart. You can even tell your sister to read also. Okay, another question. In spiritual world, our senses are engaged in serving the Lord. But in material world, it chases after mirage. So why senses are chasing after mirage if originally it served in the spiritual world? Okay. This is happening due to two reasons. It is mentioned in the Bhagavad. Bhayam videyadabhiniveshadasya dishadabetasya viparyayo asmritihi tanmayayato bhuja apadetam bhatyeka isham gurudevatatma. This is the verse it says, Bhayam dvitiyadabhiniveshadasya. He says the living being has become afflicted with bhaya, means fear, and abhiniveshatasya. He has become absorbed in matter now. Why? Two reasons he says. Ishad apetasya. When the jiva turns away from the Lord, two things come. Viparyayo asmriti. And viparya means misidentification with the body, and asmriti means forgetfulness. Yeah. Forgetfulness of one's identity and the Lord. So, in this way, he becomes forgetful of his original identity and he misidentifies with the body. I am this body. It's called Dehatma Buddhi. I am a man or I am a woman. I am fair, I am black, and things like that. He's identifying. So now when it happens, Ishad apetasya, like when you are looking at the light, there is no shadow. When you are looking at the sun, when you turn away from the sun, then you see the shadow. Correct, no? So when we look away from the sun, then only there is shadow, isn't it? So when, so then there is. So somebody asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, are there bad qualities in God also? And Prabhupada said, see, when you look at the God, at the sun, there is no shadow. Look away from the sun, there is shadow. Similarly, when you turn away from God, all bad qualities come. He said, why bad qualities are coming? Because you are turning away. Because God is all auspicious. If you go towards Him, there is no problem. If you go away from Him, then we get darkness. Just like, for example, if Radheshyam Das is traveling with the sun, say from India, I'm traveling to America along with the sun, and then I'm going with the sun, I don't leave the sun at all. Will I be ever in darkness? Tell me. Will I be any time in darkness? If I'm always moving along with the sun, traveling with the sun. Similarly, one is always Krishna conscious, then no bad qualities can touch us. But we have turned away our back and then come to this world. So just like a red hot coal in a fire, which is red hot, when it falls off, then it becomes blackish. Similarly, when we turn away from the Lord and come here, we pick up bad qualities due to misidentification. That's a point mentioned there. Viparya asmriti. So this asmriti, how will it go? What is the method? See, there were two brothers, John and Dan, living in America only. They were very great singers. Recently also I found out from the Google also, John and Dan. I heard very famous pop singers. So one of them, Dan, was traveling in a car and then there was some terrible accident and he lost his consciousness. He was rushed to the hospital, but then in the hospital the doctor found that he's lost his memory. He doesn't know who is his mother, who is his father. He is actually very, very grown up man, but he doesn't know anything. So there was one doctor who said, I will take him to, it was a psychiatrist doctor. That old lady, she said, I am researching on people who have amnesia, forgetfulness of the memory of things. So she said, I want to keep him in my lab for testing. So she had kept it. So one of the days she was playing a recording of John and Dan's song, pop song. As soon as this fellow heard it, he jumped up. He said, "That's me. I am singing." He said. She said, "What are you talking?" In those days there was no TV. There was only transistor. She said, "What are you talking?" He said, "I am Dan. This is me." And she said, "John and Dan are big fellows." Then she asked which part of America you belong to. Exactly, he told the place. Then he told about his brother. Then he gave the phone number of the mother and father. The doctor called up, and indeed it was sure, it was true. Then immediately the parents flew. The brother also flew, and they all picked him up and took him. So very interesting, isn't it? In the same manner, we belong to spiritual world where Hare Krishna mantra is constantly going on. So when you are all walking in the street, some time in your life, you must have heard the Mahamantra Kirtan. Like I heard one of the first tunes I heard, oh, it was so thrilling to me. I felt as if somebody has reminded me of something which I've been always in touch with. This is the tune I heard. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is what first tune I heard. And the car was going, a red car, Maruti car, in which some devotees, American devotees were there. They came to IIT. This is the tune I heard of coming out of the car. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. This was going on. So it was so mesmerizing, so attracting. So I went to that, I ran behind the car, and then they came to one hostel and they put up a program. I went up. I also attended the Swamiji Bhakti Vishnama Madhav Maharaj. So beautifully he spoke. That was my first encounter with ISKCON in IIT Bombay. So the kirtan was so familiar and so soothing. I asked for a recording. Then they said, "Oh, this is from Radhakrishna temple song. We can give you a CD." They gave me a CD. I heard it and heard it hundreds of times. I heard it because I immediately felt a connection when I heard that Mahamantra. So, and then after that, everything else fell in place. The philosophy was clear, and I read Prabhupada's books and everything. So, in this way, you come in connection with some spiritual substance, then everything gets revived. Everything immediately connects, and you are able to see. The more I read Prabhupada's books, the more I hear the lectures, the more I attend the programs, I feel like I'm becoming healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier. Just like a viral fever somebody has, you eat antibiotics. The first day you are suffering, second day little better, third day little better, fourth day you are completely well, and only you are in convalescent period. And then another 2 days you take rest and everything, then you are fully with full energy. I felt in spiritual life exactly the same manner. So therefore, it's true that right now we have a tendency for chasing after the material mirage. That's because our mind has impure impressions. Those impressions have to be cleared by the chanting, reading, hearing, staying with devotees, staying away from non-devotional ambience and non-devotional environments. So you are all doing that, and it's going to take some time. Just like doctor gives a medicine, you don't get cured immediately. You need a little patience, and then gradually you will get better and better and better, healthier. Even now you are all very healthy, in the sense that you are with devotees, you are hearing lectures, chanting Hare Krishna. What more you want? Are you taking prasad? You are very nicely situated. You just have to continue. That's all. So now yes, it's time for you to go to Guru Puja, our Brooklyn devotees. So we will continue tomorrow. Then you will again come. Good question. I don't know whether I answered both the question or I think I answered both the questions, I think. No. Correct. Second was in spiritual world, I was serving in serving the Lord. Here we are chasing after mirages. Good question. Tomorrow I will tell you a little more when you come. Okay? Jai Shri Prabhupada ki.
Yeah.